Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As this is something really different and out of the realm of my channel and what I post on here, but this is the review of the Royal Rumble. I hope y'all go on to enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe. We started the show with Stephanie McMahon coming out, welcoming the fans and the fans watching at home to the show, as this has been the most anticipated show of the year so far. As the show starts out with the Women's Royal Rumble, and the first entry is Io Sky, and man, I have high hopes for her. She's had a great 2024. I hope for the best in 2025, honestly. Entry number 2 comes out, and it's the former Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. As again, with her, same with Io Sky, she had a great 2024, but she ain't really somebody that I really look forward to seeing. But hey, it is what it is, right? Match starts out with high octane offense from both sides as Liv Morgan and Io try to get eliminations on one another, but it just doesn't really work out. Entry number 3 ends up being Roxanne Perez, the former NXT Women's Champion, as she has had a crazy 2024, great opponents as well in NXT, but she comes out the gate hot. And when I'm telling you hot, she came out hot, trying to make her presence felt, as well as taking out both Liv Morgan and Io Sky with a double DDT. And man, oh man, she's off to a crazy start. But speaking of one of Roxy's opponents, comes out the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion, Bird Lady, aka Lyra Valkyria, as Lyra ends up clearing house with a bunch of enziguris and trying to lay out the competition early, and she does just that with a huge fisherman suplex to Io Sky, and oh my gosh, she was on a roll. But for the time being, is Chelsea Green, the Canadian Women's United States Champion. If you know, you know, but Chelsea Green comes in this match at entry number 5 as she tried to get some offense in by eliminating everybody, but we all know how that turned out. She ends up getting jumped in the process by all the women in the match currently, as she just has no success in these matches for the past couple of years that she's been. While the women are all in the ring trying to get some eliminations and brawling, BFAB comes in at entry number 6 with a bunch of offense for the most part, as she just ends up being one of those other people that are in the match. Not really the biggest presence felt, but within entry number 7 comes in Ivy Nile, and she gets a bunch of "you suck" chants from the crowd, which is kind of poetic. But she ends up doing a bunch of German suplexes and a huge German suplex to not only Chelsea but Roxanne Perez, showing off her crazy strength and agility. And with that, the entries start coming in a little bit colder with Zoe Stark, 1/3 of PFC, Pure Fusion Collective, just clearing house. But the field started to build up a lot more with the presence of Bianca Belair, 1/2 of the Women's Tag Team Champions, as she comes in this match, and my God, she had such a crazy spot, bro. As she comes in with her usual comeback moves, but she does a whole spear, sandwiching not one, not two, but goddamn almost the half of the field with everybody coming in. Lash Legend came in. Good to see some NXT exposure, but goddamn, look at Io. Squished. By far one of the best spots of the night. The match goes on with eliminations start to come through, with Shayna Baszler coming out at entry 11. Bayley coming in at entry number 12, as she had some very significant moments in this match with Roxanne Perez, which is probably leading up to their inevitable feud. After that, we get Sonya Deville, which means the entirety of PFC is in this match now. And yes, guys, I can wholeheartedly assure you that I was unamused as well. Because who cares? Anyways, as my feelings do not really matter in this sense, as PFC legitimately just dominate and clean house in this state of the match, as Lyra Valkyria gets dumped out by Zoe and Shayna Baszler. Entry number 14 ends up being Maxine Dupree, and honestly, she is scared for her life as she has to deal with a whole line of women, but at this point, she wanted to get to Ivy Nile, which she lands a fisherman suplex to the delight of all 3 members of PFC watching on pretty much until the inevitable happens. And sadly, it's not Ivy getting dumped out the ring by Maxine, but the entirety of Pure Fusion Collective eliminating Maxine Dupree. She really should have saw this coming, dog. Come on. As Naomi comes out as entry number 15, 1/2 of the Women's Tag Team Champions. And man, oh man, I was glad that she came out, because Sonya Deville and PFC were gone. NXT's Jada Parker comes through at entry number 16, And man, she had such a really wholesome moment in the middle of the ring with the other sisters, Naomi, Bianca, and Lash. But someone came in and stopped it. As it seemed that they were trying to set up a game plan, Chelsea came in and stopped it and proved why she's the Karen of the women's division by eliminating Lash Legend. But along with Chelsea, you can't forget her secret Hervis in Piper Niven, as she comes in at entry number 17, being the personal bodyguard for Chelsea Green for the time being. But it doesn't work out in her favor, as Chelsea gets ran over by her insurance policy, knocking her out of the Rumble. And coming in at entry number 18 is Slam Central's GOAT, the veteran Natalya. If you know, you know. I'm going to be saying that a lot in this video, so. The fun actually begins here, though, as entry number 19, the former TNA Knockouts World Champion, Jordynne Grace. I believe she signed to WWE. Congrats if she is. But man, oh man, she started out this Rumble crazy, as she did a whole hip attack to Jada Parker, eliminating her, and she got a whole standing ovation. Not only for doing that, but she was out here doing Death Valley drivers to Piper Niven. Dog, if you haven't seen Jordynne Grace wrestle in TNA or in WWE, you're in for a treat. I'm telling you that right now. But besides that nefarious spot between Jordynne and Niven, we had a really wholesome TNA reunion between Naomi and Jordynne Grace, as Naomi did wrestle for a little while in Impact before coming back to WWE, if y'all don't really know, as they shared a hug for a little while before Bianca Belair injects herself into the situation at hand and breaks up the hug, making this whole third wheel ordeal. And I really wonder how this is going to affect her direction going into WrestleMania this year. It's a little bit suspicious. But as Mia Yim comes out, another one enters. After 2.5 years from ring absence, Alexa Bliss comes back, and man, oh man, I was excited to see her back in an in-ring capacity. I hope to see her more in the future, as witnessing this was an absolute dream coming to reality. A moment that left me happy with the show for sure. Hope to see more of her in the coming months. As we simmer down from the big pop that was Alexa Bliss, we get some, sadly, I hate to call them ring fillers, but we get ring fillers in entry number 22, Zelina Vega, and entry number 23, Candice LeRae. I hope they both have better runs. But after them, we get the two-piece. Not one. Oh, not one. We get NXT Stephanie Vaquer. But not only one. We get two. The two-piece pop combo within Stephanie Vaquer and Trish Stratus, coming in at entry number 24 and 25. But let me tell you, the hype level went from a 5 to a 10 real fast. And then, after a couple minutes, it dipped. And you thought it got better. If you thought it got better after that, nah. It got worse. And then, wait a minute, let me repeat myself a little bit for anybody at home. Worse. Okay, I don't even need to explain it anymore. And then it got better with Charlotte Flair at entry number 27, coming back after 2.5 years, I believe, coming back from a leg injury. And she went to town, man. She eliminated Mia Yim. And man, it's great to see the women's division rebuilding itself after losing its core pieces. Piper Niven got eliminated from Charlotte Flair. But again, it's good to see the women's division rebuilding itself. And speaking of rebuilding women's divisions, we have the NXT Women's Champion, Julia, coming in at number 28. As, oh my goodness, it's just so good to see these women thriving. And then we get dragged back down to earth with the second biggest Karen in WWE right now, Nia Jax, the former women's champion, as she's trying to make her way back into the championship scene, as she bullies Zelina Vega out of the ring. And she has a huge stare down with Trish Stratus. And that was a pretty cool moment. Jokes aside, though, it's good to see Nia just being on this run of a lifetime, and she's doing so much good for herself right now. But then at number 30, WWE Hall of Famer, the Total Divas GOAT, Nikki Bella. I was legitimately shocked. The entire time I was still scratching my head over Nikki Bella being number 30. Nia Jax and Nikki had a little stare down, which leads to the entire group of women surrounding her. Just like in 2022, she gets jumped, and within the pile of bodies trying to get Nia out the ring, instead Nia just blocks all of them out. And then minutes later, this cluster of humanity happens. This was completely crazy, and this led to a bunch of eliminations. I was pulling for Io Sky to win. Personally, let me know who y'all were gunning for to win the Rumble down in the comments below. But eventually, the ring started to shorten a lot more to just Roxanne Perez and Charlotte Flair, which led to Roxanne getting dumped and Charlotte Flair winning the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble. Congratulations to her, but honestly, in my opinion, I didn't really want her to win. It would have been dope if Io would have won, but it was a wholesome moment and a great moment nonetheless. Moving on from the Royal Rumble chaos, we go into the second match of the night, which is my second most anticipated match between DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns for the tag team titles. While I could glaze this match because it is your favorite tag team's favorite tag team versus one of my favorite tag teams of the modern era, it's literally the best dream tag match you can get. But besides the good in-ring psychology between both teams and the fact that you get a bunch of high-octane spots and fast-paced action, this match was just pretty good, honestly. It was pretty good. It wasn't really a match of the year contender, but it was definitely something that I can look back on and say, okay, yeah, that was a cool match. I'll watch it again. But the crowd just wasn't entirely there for it. That's part of it. Well, I did give it props for it being a good match. The crowd was pretty much dead. There was not that much energy. I mean, you could say at some points there were some boos and ahs, but it was deafening. And I'm not going to be on here to say that tag team matches do not belong on pay-per-views. They do. It's just that this one on this particular night, it just felt like it was completely dead. But after DIY capturing the first fall, with Ciampa hitting a big knee to the face of Shelly, and Shelly and Sabin going for skull and bones to capture the second, it was completely just back and forth between both teams on the offensive and defensive, hitting a lot of heavy hitting moves like a super kick fairy tail ending combo, Johnny doing a tope suicida to the outside, and then right along with that, Tommaso Ciampa doing a Project Ciampa to Chris Sabin, only for a near fall. And oh my god, these teams are just so good together and they just mesh so well. But after Johnny Gargano miscommunicating with Tommaso Ciampa hitting a super kick on him, the Guns hit their vintage combos, and along with that, they get screwed out of the tag team titles by the Street Profits into a meet in the middle by Ciampa and Gargano for the 1, the 2, and the 3. But it just doesn't end like that though. Dawkins is on the ramp, just laughing it off, having a good time. It seems like DIY escape for the meantime until Montez comes in and just beats the hell out of Gargano with the crutch, and then they just end up standing tall, which I hope this all leads to some big tag team matches in the coming months, especially with Elimination Chamber being on the horizon. We now move on to by far the craziest match of the night, the Undisputed WWE Championship on the line, contested in a ladder match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. This is a nefarious match. Now, judging this match by their past encounters within this entire saga between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens within Bash in Berlin this past year in 2024, and of course we cannot forget one of the more controversial matches in Saturday Night's main event between the two, this is honestly their craziest match that they've had yet, and it's crazy in more ways than one besides Kevin Owens hitting a package piledriver to really leave a cliffhanger. But before that, it isn't really a WWE pay-per-view in 2025 or in the 2020s decade in general without advertisements. But I will say that even if I hate advertisements, I will be covering my looming thoughts and personal things that I would love to see in this game in WWE 2K25 in the near future. So, hey, be on the lookout for that. But besides that, look at this, bro. Ain't no way we covering Pat McAfee stats while he was in the NFL, bro. What? What? Come on, bro. Entrances start, and Kevin Owens is making his way out to the ring with the Winged Eagle belt. And Kevin Owens, as he usually does, gaslights the crowd and gaslights Cody Rhodes as he usually does with his choice of shirts. Besides Kevin Owens' dastardly antics to antagonize Cody, Cody looks like he's ready for a war, as both men hold up their championships high and mighty, as quite frankly, this match has a lot of stakes, because WrestleMania is right around the corner, and I don't think Cody plans on losing that title anytime soon. Before the match can begin, the referee just separates the two men before they can go to blows so the titles can be hung above the ring. But Kevin Owens, minutes in, body slams Cody through a ladder and uses the rungs from the ladder as personal weapons and beats him over the back and the midsection. And it's kind of brutal, I cannot lie. Even when the match is starting, I love Smash Mouth Kevin Owens just in your face, always trying to find ways to operate in his own, I guess you could say, his little island space, especially when it comes to no disqualification matches. As Cody and KO go throughout the crowd and brawl, they went back inside and it still used ladders and just completely obliterated Cody and used those same ladders as a jungle gym, as both men used the ladders in very unique ways. Besides both men using their imagination to destroy one another in this match, a fun-sized ladder comes into play by Kevin Owens and just completely just tortures Cody with it in every single way you can imagine, as Kevin just wants to destroy Cody so bad to the point where he can get the championships. But Cody wants to do the exact same thing and throws it right back at Kevin, getting a little bit of payback. But as Cody thought he has a little bit of breathing room, Kevin Owens comes in with the fun-sized ladder again and beats him down to get him down the ladder and powerbombs him right onto that exact ladder, which leads Cody to be riding in agony for a little while, as he just looks like he just got traumatized by Kevin Owens in many more ways than one. As, oh my god, just looking at the replay again, I wish I could show it, but again, the copyright monster will get me. Cody looked like he was in absolute pain, and he went for another powerbomb off the ladder, which looked absolutely brutal, as Cody finally gets his revenge by stomping on the ladder, getting a rung off of it, and beating Kevin with it. And my god, this match, like I said before, it was nefarious. It was. Later on, Kevin decides to do a ladder bridge just to try and get his lid back on Cody, which doesn't entirely work as both men completely beat the living crap out of each other into this crazy spot. Oh my god, Kevin just got brutalized and then gets his payback by doing a fisherman's buster off the top rope on top of the ladder bridge, which looks completely, immensely nasty. And then as we get to the later stages of this match, where Cody Rhodes doesn't even need to do a crossroads, because guess what he does instead? Nope, it ain't that package pile driver. It's an Alabama slam through the ladder bridge. That's a crazy position to be standing in, Kevin. I cannot lie. But as you can see on the top of your screen, Cody Rhodes retains the undisputed WWE Championship and unhooks the Winged Eagle WWE title as well, as he celebrates and basks in the glory, as Sami Zayn comes out to really aid his best friend. I really want to see where this whole story goes, but what I truly know is that these two men put up one hell of a performance for the WWE title. Now it is time for what most of y'all have been waiting for, the most controversial, the most shocking, and most anticipated match of the card and tonight's show, the 30-man Royal Rumble match. Entry number 1 ends up being Rey Mysterio, the legend of the 619, ends up sharing the ring first with Pentagon Jr., aka Penta, at entry number 2. We already got a dream match, and the match hasn't even started yet, dog. The match starts with both men in the center of the ring with a big ovation from the crowd in anticipation for the match to begin, with both men having some equal amounts of sportsmanship before the inevitable happens, with both men sharing blow for blow, spot for spot, as both men go for some Hurricane Ranas and fast-paced, action-packed moves. As the next entrant, Chad Gable, makes his presence felt by going right after Penta and completely gets annihilated by both Rey and Penta for the moment, as Gable tried to overpower both men, but it just wasn't really enough, as they just got the better of Chad Gable for the meantime until entry number 4 came. Entry number 4 ends up being Carmelo Hayes, as he's trying to really make a name for himself in this Rumble match, as he hasn't really found that much success recently. But what a better way to make a name for yourself, eh? As Carmelo does so with a DDT to Rey Mysterio, as he does really quick jabs pretty much and takes out Penta with Chad Gable's assistance until number 5 comes out. And entry number 5 is none other than the legendary
Santos Escobar.
Nonetheless, the heels get the upper hand on Penta and Rey Mysterio before absolutely getting obliterated with a 619 by the legendary 619 King himself, Rey Mysterio. As all 5 men in the ring right now just go blow for blow here, as there's just no alliances. As all 4 men in the ring go for strikes and grapple moves to take one another down, as every single man is down in the ring. Otis makes his way down to the ring at entry number 6, and quite frankly, I don't even want to comment on the back of his jacket, dog. Nope. No. But when he gets inside the ring, he goes for the caterpillar to really add insult to injury, but Chad Gable prevents that with an ankle lock, trying to slow down the big man, but instead, he gets out of it into a German suplex. As Chad Gable thought he won the battle, he ain't won the war though. As Otis comes from behind, wait, that sounds real wrong, and attacks him with a whole torture rack while everybody else is trying to eliminate one another, as enter number 7 is about to come out. And my lord Terminator, pretty much personified, Braun Breaker, the Intercontinental Champion, comes in at number 7, and he just goes to town. Carmelo Hayes is gone immediately. Braun Breaker scales out the ropes, does a whole Frankensteiner, and takes out Gable, as Braun Breaker pretty much cleans house for the moment and really just starts the elimination chain going. And within the freakish power that Braun possesses, is able to back body drop Otis and just rail Rey Mysterio out of his way. And then right after that, spears Santos Escobar and Penta. Oh my god, this man is insane. And then following that elimination, Otis tries to get his payback on him. The madness doesn't stop there, as Akira Tozawa gets bashed over the head by Carmelo Hayes as he was just about to get out and potentially help Otis with Braun Breaker. But then he just gets help sent to the back, and this is where the real chaos ensues. As they're heading to the back with Triple H and in gorilla position, guess who's there? I Show Speed. And Speed makes his Royal Rumble debut with the whole crowd behind him, giving him a huge pop and ovation as World Cup sounds around the arena. And the moment was a vibe until Braun Breaker and I Show Speed eliminate Otis. Let's just say all hell broke loose after Braun Breaker kills I Show Speed with a spear, making him cross-eyed, putting him up in the air like a whole chew toy. And then the tomahawk steak and the pot roast decided to play catch with I Show Speed's corpse. Otis decides to dismantle I Show Speed by throwing him over the top, doing a fall-away slam, and he gets eliminated in the most crazy, insane fashion, with Braun Breaker just watching on. But after all the chaos that transpired within the ring and outside the ring, we get back to our entries, with James coming in at number 9, hitting the 10 beats on the bottom on Braun Breaker, and then immediately going after Penta with a shoulder tackle and just trying to get eliminations going, and proceeding to hit a bro kick on Braun Breaker, just putting down Braun Breaker for the moment, as Jimmy Uso comes in at number 10, just trying to make his statement for himself, as Andrade comes in at entry number 11. Those two got their offense in until an absolute werewolf comes into play in Jacob Fatu, while he eliminates Andrade, and quite frankly, he just changed the game until Ludwig Kaiser came in, and he was being passive-aggressive, trying to be more cautious until he gets eliminated by Penta in untimely fashion, as I think he didn't want that to happen for sure, as he absolutely is infuriated, until entry number 14 comes in as The Miz, and Miz doesn't really do anything until the sensation known as Joe Hendry comes in the match. The TNA World Champion gets the fans hype and on their feet, as Sheamus just watched the spectacle go on until Jacob Fatu ruins it for the moment, as Sheamus just rashes out over it. But the OTC, your tribal chief Roman Reigns, comes in the match and has a very brief moment with Joe Hendry, as the former undisputed WWE champion completely obliterates Joe Hendry with a spear, knocking his hopes and dreams out of the Royal Rumble, as Paul Heyman can only just look on, as well as Sheamus just spectating for the moment, as Braun Breaker absolutely just has an incredible moment with Roman Reigns, a dream match right there in the Royal Rumble. That's what I love the most about these matches, as anything can happen. But just like I said, anything can happen. Braun just spears Roman Reigns. His soul just completely just ejected from his body there. And honestly, I didn't expect this to happen. Breaker gets eliminated minutes after by Reigns. And that was the most shocking moment of the night. Besides this, Jacob and Roman having a little stare off until entry number 17 comes in. It's another past rival of Drew McIntyre, entry number 17, and Finn Balor looking to get some revenge on the competition in the ring, as well as Shinsuke Nakamura in entry number 19. These entries started coming in really hot and heavy, especially with Jey Uso, which he has a big moment in the match as he eliminates Shinsuke Nakamura, and Nakamura does not look pleased in the slightest. But the returning phenomenal AJ Styles comes in the match, as well as Braun Strowman, which nobody entirely cared about. But this man, entry number 23, John Cena, the last time is now, ladies and gents, as he attitude adjusts Finn Balor out the ring for his first elimination and has a brief little moment with one of his best rivals, Roman Reigns. Or at least at this generation, at least, because he's had better rivals. Speaking of rivals of John Cena, CM Punk comes in at entry number 24, really escalating things between Roman and Cena that were already in the ring. And they have a crazy three-way stare-off until Seth Rollins' music hits. Entry number 25, Cena marks out in the corner as Seth Rollins comes in with a big statement maker on his face. As Dominic Mysterio comes in, entry number 26, calming down the crowd a little bit. Then they go back to booing him, and he hits a frog splash, thinking that he's big business, until he just finds out real quick that he can't do a Three Amigos on Roman Reigns. Little funny moment there, but the honorary Uso, Sami Zayn, comes in at entry number 27, along with Damian Priest at entry number 28. Man, this Royal Rumble was crazy hectic, and as Dominic gets tossed out of the Royal Rumble, looking like a shell of himself in the process, as LA Knight comes in at entry number 29, doing a little callback with AJ Styles with that net breaker, and just trying to make the field expand a lot more, as all of these men that were in the ring at the time were just going at it back and forth, either they were down or not, as Jey Uso accidentally super kicks Sami Zayn out the Rumble, and 30 is the most underwhelming of them all. And Logan Paul, painful, real painful. Besides that, Drew McIntyre gets eliminated by Damian Priest, which infuriates the Scottish psychopath. And just, oh my God, that face is crazy. But Logan Paul just proves why he's just an egotistical bastard and tries to find a way to not only eliminate Damian Priest, but eliminate AJ Styles. Oh my God, this man does such a good job of being a heel. I hate him so much. But besides that, back to the action. Rollins hits a pedigree on Jey Uso as he completely crashes out in this match. Curb stomp to CM Punk. But then again, while everybody else is down, Roman and Seth have a shield moment, as I like to call it, as Seth realizes that he is behind him, and they have a huge stare-off. That's the main part about this Rumble, that there was a lot of big moments, and I think that's what really matters, as Seth Rollins and Roman get eliminated by CM Punk, and then Logan Paul comes right behind him and then just eliminates him as well, which leads to a huge brawl between all three men, as Seth, Punk, and Roman absolutely just despise one another after getting each other out of the Rumble, as Seth hits a curb stomp on Roman after hitting the bird on Paul Heyman, and CM Punk, while it wasn't the one to really defy Seth Rollins, he just walks out in rage, as John Cena looks at the crowd and does a callback to WrestleMania 25 with a huge double AA almost, but then again, he just hits an AA and eliminates Logan Paul in the process, getting him out of the Rumble. Thank God. Thank God he wasn't in the final two. But the final two ends up being Jey Uso and John Cena, which leads to this huge moment between the past and the future. And Jey Uso's getting ready for a huge comeback sequence that everybody knows, as John Cena hits him with a spinning back suplex, as he usually does, puts his hand in the air. You already know what that means. You can't see me, as they just trade blows in the ending stages of this match, as it was intense. I must say it was an intense, real big moment between the two of them, and I didn't expect the guy to win the Royal Rumble in Jey Uso. I honestly thought John was gonna beat him, but Jey was the one to capture the 2025 Royal Rumble winning spot and punch his ticket to WrestleMania in a huge, amazing moment for Jey Uso nonetheless. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this review, as this is my first of many to come on the channel, especially with commentary videos. And yeah, stay easy and stay chill. I'll see you on the next one. I love y'all. Peace.